Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program may contain adult content and is intended for mature audiences only.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The arguments begin now.
Good evening, everybody. Evening, Mr. Dale. What's going on?
Same old different day, as usual.
Yeah, I kind of
enjoying a day off work and resting until I tie ass with you for a little while.
that ought to be fun. It's always
It
fun.
always is.
You saying you had to relax and stuff like that. That reminds me of this thing I saw a couple of weeks ago. It was a picture of this guy sitting back in a recliner chair. It says, "Tomorrow's Monday. Everybody's got to go to work, except for me. I'm retired. Enjoy your day." Yeah, that's right. Anyway, what have we got on the agenda for today?
Well, I guess apparently from what you had up on the screen, we're going to talk a little bit about Mr. Trump and Miss Harris.
Yeah?
And who we like. And, what was the other thing you had up there?
Well, that isn't...
You had another thing that I saw when it was scrolling.
You ain't supposed to pay no attention to that.
Oh, I do pay attention to that stuff. But apparently I didn't note it well enough.
Yeah, this just come up.
Which kind of gave me an idea of a direction you might be going at some point.
Yeah. And my direction is always down the sewer. Ask anybody from my show last night. They'll tell you the same thing. What do you have? What did we? I don't remember what we talked about first last Friday. I can hardly remember my name, let alone something like that.
We were more talking about the. It wasn't as much about Trump versus Harris, which is fine. We can get into that. That's not an issue. You know, we can always go down that road. But the whole Biden campaign and all of a sudden deciding to go with Harris was kind of the direction.
Yeah, I would like to cover that first, and then there's
either way, the same subjects come up, so it doesn't matter.
If let's start off with that campaign change, because we haven't been here since that all happened. As everybody knows, Joe Biden dropped out because of pressure from the several sides of the Democratic Party, I think. And it's been awarded more or less to Kamala Harris. My thoughts on this, I think it was a good choice. I don't like how they did it without, some input from the public. It was pretty much the party put her up there and gave her it was within a day or so they gave her the nomination and pretty much all the war chest that goes with it.
Which is under question.
And I realize that. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, the war chest thing is definitely under question.
But there again, they said that she raised...
I've never seen that before, so I don't totally understand.
She raised about 500 million or 50...
Good chunk of money there. Yeah, she raised a good chunk of money in a day.
The first day, she raised quite a bit of money which is pretty much her own war chest, for that matter. So I don't know how in question that would be. But is it legal? And if so, what has to be done with it? Are they going to nail her to a cross?
It was my understanding from the little bit that I've heard, and like I said, I've never seen this before, so I don't have a total understanding. If another one of the presidential, if there had been another presidential candidate, he could give his war chest to that presidential candidate. But because she was a vice presidential candidate, you can't just necessarily shove that money over to her. I don't know. They'll find a way to manipulate it some way or whatnot.
Yeah.
She'll probably end up getting the money. And I don't know if it's right, wrong, or indifferent. My thought is it's his money. He can give it to whoever he wants to. But at the same time, I've heard that, like, if he drops out, unless he gives it to another actual presidential candidate, then that money is supposed to be returned back to the donors that gave that money. And then if they so see fit to return that money to Kamala, they can do so.
Yeah. And you never know what goes on behind the scenes that may have happened that way. Yeah, it's hard to tell what actually happened. Everything went so quickly that it was, I don't know, it was kind of hard to follow.
Well, I'll tell you flat out, it didn't go that quickly.
Yeah, I think there was stuff in the wind there for at least a couple of weeks, if not longer.
I would possibly venture to say
pretty much since that debate. That debate did him a great deal of harm.
Yes. But I mean, to the point, like, and I think I spoke to you about it. I may not have. I may have held it back. I went on the internet because I just wanted to, check out, Kamala Harris and what she had to say. And I watched 4 different speeches that the woman gave. And especially when she got into the topics of, what she wanted to speak about, it was word for word, all the way down the line. And I mean, we're talking maybe just a quick little, you see my eyes going, just a quick little eye glance at the teleprompter, never looking at it. She had this stuff memorized. I mean, this stuff is, and she continues to, that's her speech to everybody she talks to, is the same exact thing over and over again. And like, when I say word for word, I mean word for word. I can't sit here and show 4 or 5 videos, but please trust me. And if you don't, go look. You'll see it.
There again, on the other side of that coin, I don't, memorization, what she probably saw there was, in my opinion, the party line. And she's probably talking the party line, and the teleprompter was telling her what to say, but she was doing it from memory. I can see that happening.
Exactly. So I'm saying this is something she's gone over to do it. I mean, I'm saying the same almost body language and, the whole bit, highlighting different things and highlighting, this and the way her speech came out. This was rehearsed. It was obviously rehearsed. So I can only think that this is something that whether the Democratic Party or anybody else was talking to her about long before, to give her the ability to do what she's done. Like, if you notice, Donald Trump, he'll get up there and he'll of course, he spits his game and he talks, the same subject matter and different stuff like that. But then he's going over whatever kind of bullcrap happened to him that day because somebody tried to sue him for taking a piss in the toilet. Um, but the speeches change. Hers have been just, I mean, like I said, literally word for word, the same emphasis on the same words, the same phrasing. She was preparing for this. I mean, she definitely knew ahead of time that this day, more than likely, was probably going to come.
Well, don't you think that, I don't know if that's bad, good, or indifferent. Don't you think that she pretty much has to follow the party line, what the Democratic Party wants her to say.
Well, no.
And don't you think that she's had practice with this because of being the vice president? That's another thing to think of.
Up until, at a certain point, I don't know. Do I think she's been practicing this for 4 years? Absolutely not.
I bet it's at least been
They
a couple.
knew that Biden was going to have to step down. I mean, the signs were there from the get-go. And when they finally reached a point where they're like, there is absolutely no way that this guy can defeat Donald Trump, they pulled the plug, and he was pretty much, I'm going to guess, asked not so politely to step down. And because, I mean, even here, if you watch his speech that he gave, he talks about how it's time to step down and give the role to a younger person, blah, 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 blah. But he never once admitted that he's obviously got, some cognitive decline and whatnot. And God bless him. I mean, he's the president of the United States. I'm not here to backstab him or do anything like that. He knew there was decline, but he was refusing to quit. But even in that last speech, he couldn't say, hey, my doctors told me, I should probably take a step back and relax. He had to, I don't know, I guess because he wants to keep his job for the next 6 months, basically, and not allow the 25th Amendment to crack in and make her president beforehand. But, which is good, don't get me wrong. I'm all about Biden staying in because I'd much rather deal with his non-cognitive ass than her. So,
well, you may have to deal with her non-cognitive or her cognitive ass in the future anyway. So there's no telling.
Oh, it's his non-cognitive ass.
There's no telling who's going to win this thing. I've heard from each.
That depends on. I think we're in
the
honeymoon period. I think we're in Kamala's honeymoon period. And everybody's woo, woo, woo. And then once they realize that all she's doing is saying the same things over and over and over and over and over again, and not really telling the American people what she's going to do, how she plans to do it, and things like that, you're going to start to see some decline. You're in the honeymoon period right now, and I think that is going to disappear.
Well, as we discussed the other night, that wasn't it 60-40 as far as voters between the age of 18 and 36, which is your younger voters. The ratio has changed to favor Camilla by 60-40, and even if that changes a little bit, I don't know.
Which I haven't seen.
They're going to take and the younger voters, in my eyes, they're going to vote for whatever's younger. They're not going to care. You know, I keep
And I think what you had brought up too also is a lot of your younger voters just won't vote.
Yeah, that's true
So
too.
that kind of puts a little damper on that situation too.
Yeah, and as well as it does your
So,
side, the Trump side of that, the Trump side of
oh,
the
it's
coin.
I mean,
Yeah, I want to enter. I want to take and make a quick injection here. As you can tell, Dale and I have known each other for a long time.
the disclaimer.
We argue all the time. This is normal. I'm more of a middle of the roader. He's a little rightist, I guess, right? And we
I'm
argue.
a right winger now.
The only thing we do is we argue, and then we'll leave here and get on Zoom and BS about the show for a couple minutes, how funny it was, and I didn't expect you to say that, and you didn't expect me to say this. We part pretty much friends. This is not I'm not trying to be any kind of a political motivator. Neither is he. We just want to discuss both sides of the political world today. And that's one of the reasons we started this show. We thought it would be entertaining for everybody to hear both sides being argued by two people that pretty much know a little bit about it. I don't study this stuff, and neither does Dale. Dale's got to work a couple hours a week.
Yeah, a couple.
And he's got vacations to go on and stuff like that, so he doesn't sit there and study the internet 24/7, and neither do I. I got better things to do. Like I said, the disclaimers here, don't get any idea that we take either political side. Like I said, middle of the road for me. I'm not a Democrat, and I'm not declaring myself a Republican either. And
well, that's because you're a Republican.
I think
you're a Democrat in transition.
Yeah, right. I got your transition.
Which you've been for a little while.
Just like the transition they had on. I got something else we need to argue about. The transition during the Olympic parade. Did you see that?
I heard about it. I have not even given it the time of day yet. I need to watch it just so I can say that what people are actually saying was depicted. But if that's the case, yes, I have a problem with it.
I've seen 2 or 3 different sides of this as I've watched since the Olympics started. I have yet to sit down and watch any of the Olympics. If they're going to put on garbage like that, I'm not going to watch them.
I never watch it.
The thing that they're saying now is that, it wasn't really the Last Supper that was depicted. It was this thing that was done in 1625 that was a completely different picture. It was supposed to portray the gods of different. It was supposed to.
I forget. I know what you're saying.
And
I did hear that.
It was
a god of whatever.
That shit just does not belong on a stage like that. Cram it down your throat, for Christ's sake.
My thing is,
I can understand they want to get into, it's going to be fun to be in a parade and all that. But not, don't cram that stuff down my throat. I got no interest in that.
It's not a matter of cramming down your throat, from my view. It's because of the world of, inclusion that we've become, where everything has to be accepted. And of course, certain things get shoved down your throat. It's okay. So I'm allowed to be a man and dress up like a woman and get on this stage. And you can't say a word about it. But if I want to mock Christianity, that's okay. Well, wait a minute here. We have to respect you. Why are you not respecting us as Christians? I mean, it's a two-way street. And that's all I asked for. There was no need for that. They could have been on the stage and been guys dressed up as women and done whatever they wanted to for their little opening ceremony thing. And everybody been, yay, the transvestites got to do something at the Olympics. That's great. But you didn't need to downgrade Christianity if that was the case, and that's actually what happened. Because, like I said, I haven't seen the video.
Well, I hate to say this. I hate to I hate to go against the rules of the show, but I actually agree with you on that. I don't think that any of that was called for.
We've agreed before.
And
I mean, it happens.
Lightning strike. I'm waiting for the lightning strike.
We're not going to fight about everything, but I mean,
and it's just like I said. There's a place and a time for everything like that, and that just wasn't.
If I have to respect you dressing up like a woman, then you need to, because we're talking inclusion. You need to respect my religion too.
Yeah.
There's no. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. We have to respect each other. I have my views, and I leave you alone. Okay, but don't take your views and disrespect things that I believe in. I mean, it's not fair. And, I may sound like a little bitch by saying that, but it's not fair. I mean, if you're going to do that, then I should be able to talk all the trash I want about guys dressed up like girls. I need to be able to talk all the trash I want about litter boxes in school bathrooms because kids want to pretend that they're a freaking cat, which I think is a joke. They're just doing it upset the school system. I mean, that's a whole other conversation, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, there was a quote back a while back that said, and I found out statistically this is more or less true. 3% of the actual world population is gay. True fact. And for that 3% to try to get 80% or 90% of the attention, that's just really, it's absurd.
I think it's fine. I was just in San Francisco. Okay. Now we know that's one of the gay capitals of the world. They're over here doing that. Maybe they're sitting in the bar holding hands. Maybe they're doing this, doing that. They're over there. They're hanging out. They're enjoying their time. They're being gay. They're not bothering me. They're not disrespecting me because I don't necessarily believe in what they're doing, nor am I hopping up and saying, hey, you're a horrible person for doing this. We respected each other. And I think that's, kind of how it should go. And this was an example of blatant disrespect for the Christian religion, if that is the way it happened.
Yeah, sorry about that. I agree with you. And the simple fact of that is 3% trying to get 90% of the attention is that's where that stuff needs to stop. It needs to be regulated somehow or other. It's not just us that are feeling this way about this. You get these drug companies, all they're out for anyway is, most of them are just out for your money. And for them to take and spend all this money, more or less backing shows that are not even close to supporting anything gay. You know, I've seen these commercials on some CBS shows that I watch, and you know, it just I don't know. I think we need to table this part of the discussion and get back to what we were talking about. But you know,
Okay.
it just baffles me how
I follow you.
if
I
any
follow
if we want to talk
you.
about
We
this
could make a whole show out of this.
exactly, and I don't really want to do that. Somewhere down the road we might when we're when
Sure.
we're in when we're in
Hey, it's all
desperate
about
need of
mutual respect.
material.
I mean, I think that's at the end of the day, mutual respect.
Yeah.
And, that's
If you
where
want to be that
things
way,
need to
fine, go
be.
be that way. Just don't try to put it in my world. Don't fit in my
Well, it's
world.
that's the point. It's going to be in your world somewhere or another. But as long as we have mutual respect, then, you know, things can be okay. I mean, I don't have to agree with what you do at your house.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with what goes on in my house.
I don't want
But
to
at
know.
the end of the day, we should respect each other.
I don't want to know what goes on at your house. That's
Hey, you don't.
that's my kid you're doing that to.
I wasn't going down that road. I think you went there. There was that one time.
I don't want to. No. TMI, TMI, TMI. Anyway, getting back, where were we with the Trump stuff or the Kamala Harris
Well,
stuff?
we were talking about Kamala, which you call Kimala, but it's Kamala.
Kamala, come here.
But
I think. Go ahead. If you got a thought, go ahead. I don't have any thoughts.
well, sure. Now, like I've watched, like I had said earlier, I watched 3 or 4 speeches, and they're like identical. And the one thing she likes to bring up, you never hear her bring up her senatorial record. Never. She goes all the way back to when she was a prosecutor. And she has this cute little speech she has to try to take a dig at Donald Trump. And to me, it's quite freaking hilarious because it's like, so you're taking all your work in government, your work as a senator, and I'm not sure how many years that was, but then your work as the vice president, you have nothing to say about because you've done nothing. I mean, we've all heard, she was the quote unquote border czar. And well, we all know what's going on at the border. So, we blame her and at least me, I blame her and Joe, but that's fine.
Well, it's
But
fun.
let me play a little clip. This is her claim to freaking fame. This is her claim to fame.
Share your screen.
It's a matter of a couple little comments. And to me, it's hilarious. Now, this is her first presidential speech. Okay, so we're looking for.
Share your screen.
Yeah, I'm actually going to let you. Okay, let me share screen first.
And I know we are all deeply, deeply grateful for his continuing service to our
Okay,
nation.
so I got that going, right? Is it working?
Nope.
Uh-oh.
Entire career
Share.
and over the past 3.5 years is unmatched in modern history. In one term, think about it. In one
Application
term
windows.
as president,
Share.
he has
Is it up there?
Yep, it's up there.
Okay.
Of most
Why don't you start it over?
Oh, no, I haven't even got to the spot yet. I
Okay.
stopped it short.
Okay.
Well, although I would like to go over her trying to talk about Biden's record. But this is her claim to fame with Donald Trump. This is the only thing the bitch has to say.
Wait. We will win this election. Yes, we will. told you, before I was elected vice president, before I was elected United States Senator, I was elected Attorney General of the state of California, and I was a courtroom prosecutor before then. And in those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
So yeah, that's her claim to fame. And if you go back and you look at her record, which I have some video on that too, which I won't get into, but most of her time she spent putting a bunch of pot smokers in jail. That's what she did. She convicted people for smoking some pot, which at the time was against the law, and it was her job. But really, I mean, you're talking about all these criminals and all these horrible people.
She was supposed to be one of the better prosecutors wherever she was.
Yeah, because she was putting pot smokers in jail. It ain't fucking hard. They don't remember where they were.
Let's flip the coin here. I have heard, except for the quote-unquote border czar, which has been the majority of Trump's campaign, they don't have nothing to throw at her. They don't have a notebook with emails and they don't have 32,000 emails or anything like he had when he got elected the last time.
Well, it sounds like you're talking about Hillary Clinton.
Well, yeah.
About emails.
You gotta, Hillary had too much in her past in order for anybody to vote for her. I don't think that Kamala does. Because they haven't thrown nothing at her, nothing earth-shaking. But I want to since you're talking about the border czar thing, let me play a clip here. And
okay, go right ahead.
We'll talk about this when we come back from it.
All right.
By the way, Christians have to vote. I don't want to scold you, but you know that Christians do not vote proportionately. They don't vote like they should. They're not big voters. You know who else aren't voters? The NRA endorsed me very powerfully. Strongest endorsement they can give. National Rifle Association. People that own guns and rifles are not big voters. They have to vote. If you don't vote, we're not going to win the election. Christians are a group that's known not to vote very much. You have to go out, at least this election. Just get us into that beautiful White House. Vote for your congressmen and women. Vote for your senators. We will change this country for the better. This country will be great again like never before. You got to vote. We have to win this election, most important election ever. We want a landslide that's too big to rig. If you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know, and vote. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day. I don't care how, but you have to get out and vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. As soon as I take the oath of office, I will stop the Biden-Harris administration's weaponization of law enforcement against Americans of faith and against, frankly, their political opponent. No.
All right, I want to take and talk about this a little bit. I don't know what the heck happened there.
Oh yeah. That was the one that I saw that I couldn't remember. That was it.
Vote early and often, and give us 4 more years, and we're gonna We're going to fix this and you won't ever have to vote again. Isn't that what you saw? Is that what you saw? That's what I, as a voter, saw.
Okay, this is where I'm going with this, because I know you as other Democrats, but so what did you gather from that comment? I'm going to tell you before you even open your fucking mouth that your comment is going to be, oh, he's going to be like the king of the United States, and nobody will ever be allowed to vote again because he's going to do that.
He just told you that.
Make himself a dictator. He's going to be a dictator. That's what you took from those
He
comments.
just told you that.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Vote early and often, and you won't ever have to vote again.
No, he didn't. He said,
Oh,
vote early, vote often. If I get elected, we're going to fix this country so well.
You won't ever have to vote again.
Worry so much. That is what he said. You won't have to worry so much. You won't have to be concerned. You guys in your comments with your fucking Hitler and
he said it.
And blah 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 blah. You're so full of shit.
You can't take
brown.
if you want me to, I'll find the Hitler comments. I can do that.
Oh, go ahead. I don't give a shit. I've heard them all before. Christ, what are you doing? Giving me some new news?
No, but when I saw that thing, vote early and vote often, and you won't ever have to vote again.
Well, ain't that what the Democratic Party tells you?
They're not
Vote
telling
early
you won't ever have to vote
as
again.
many times as you can. Vote for your grandma, your grandpa that's dead, and vote for everybody else.
You can't prove any of that.
Grab the homeless man off the fucking street, get him a vote.
Fake
get
news.
This person. Come on.
Fake news.
I mean, really?
Fake news coming from Hitler.
I mean, it's sure. Vote. That's what he's saying. Get out and vote. That's the only way we can beat you devils with this horse shit you got going on in government right now that we all know. Well, never mind. Different show.
Yep.
But yes, get out and vote. Absolutely. I will say this myself. Republican, Democrat, or anything in between, get out and vote for who you think is the best person for the job. Get out and vote.
Exactly.
I think that other man has already clearly showed that he's the better man for the job. And he sure as hell was better than the other Republicans that were standing on the stage. So I guess that kind of half-ass makes him the best man for the job unless somebody else shows up that can, do better than he did. Because trust me, he got most of all of his campaign promises. He took the economy. I just paid over $4 the last couple of times for a tank of freaking gas. For what? I wasn't paying that when Trump was in office. I wasn't paying $27 for a loaf of damn bread when I went to the grocery store either. The economy sucks. And that man knows how to handle the economy. He knows how to handle your stuff in the Ukraine. All this other bull. Do you think if Donald Trump was the president of the United States that you would have had Russians pulling boats right off
here we go.
Florida? It wouldn't have happened because they'd have freaking known better.
Oh, here we go.
That's the weakness that our country has shown since Joe Biden has been president is more than clear. I mean, come on. Open your eyes. You got to get your eyebrows off of them fucking first. Open them things. Get them wide. Look and see. There you go. That was pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. That was good.
Oh, we've got our base stirred up.
Oh,
I just
our
got a
base.
comment. I disagree with you 100% after hearing that. You are completely off base.
Oh, who's that?
I ain't saying.
You or me?
I ain't. That's for me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably my girlfriend.
Must be.
I call her my girlfriend. I've never met her, but if it was her,
Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't her. It wasn't who you're
okay.
thinking.
I was going to say the one I know that I've heard of from Justine that generally tends to agree with me. So now I have a few more followers that actually agree with what I have to say.
Evidently.
I don't want to please people. I'm not calling you followers. Okay, this is not a cult, but I am very happy that some of you
Your constituents
agree with what I have to say.
Your constituents.
Yes, thank you, my constituents. Yes, I'll be running for president in 2028. Please vote often. Vote early.
Yeah, vote early,
I'll be
vote
a candidate in
often.
28.
Get me in so you won't have to ever vote again. Oh, this is fun.
He's just saying he's gonna take his other 4 years and straighten out the mess. And then he's hoping that, well, I'll still have a question up about, the whole JD Vance thing. But
oh Lord.
He's
Do you
thinking
think
that
he could have
he can continue the Republican Party being in office and continue to quote unquote strengthen the nation.
He's strengthening the nation by
now,
trying to overthrow it.
Oh, come on. Overthrow it. Really?
No, wait. There was a quote by...
Really, you got a president that just weaponized the whole entire justice system against one man. And you're like,
You can't tell me that.
To overthrow it.
You can't tell me that. That's fake news.
Oh. All right. You know what? I'm just going to be a good boy.
That'd be a first. Anyway, the JD, let's talk about Mr. Vance for a minute. 3.5 years in politics. 3.5 or 3 years as a Ohio senator, I think it is. It's Senator Vance, right?
I believe. Yeah, because he ain't a governor. And
okay.
I don't think he's in the House.
I think he's in the Senate.
I believe senator. I think you're right.
Okay, 3 years of being a senator, and you're going to choose him for your pick for vice president.
Kamala wasn't in there that long before she became the vice presidential pick. So she doesn't have this huge senatorial record either.
Now, from what I understand, I can't 100% say this true, but from what I've heard quotes of, he was picked by Trump because he told Trump, if I was in Pence's place, I would have went and stopped the election. Now, let's think about this a minute. He would have went and stopped the election and tried to tell the nation that their vote didn't count. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that it isn't true that there could have been some fake votes in there, but I'm not saying it's true. And if it wasn't true, which they've never found any real proof of it, how can you?
Yeah, they have.
How can you take and go in and go into Congress and say we got to stop this? when the people have spoken, when the vote of the people.
Oh, see,
you're going to do away with it. What would
Here is the
what
key.
would have been the what would then let me finish my thought here. What if
Yes, sir.
say he did do that? Say Pence did it, and he went in and said these votes can't be confirmed official. We've got proof, or we've got allegations that there's issues here. What would have been the outcome there?
So that is the time to do the double check. I think that is the purpose of that.
If the
is
double
to say, hey, listen, before I confirm this, we're going to do a double check, and we're going to check what's going on here.
And you do the double check, and it starts costing billions of dollars because everything's got to be recounted and everything.
Okay, all right. So
what would have been
if Trump got elected instead of your boy Biden, would you not mind spending that little bit of money to do a double check? If you truly felt the things were done incorrectly? Now all of a sudden, the tables are turned and you got that blank stare.
If there was some sort of if there was some sort of actual proof, but there wasn't none. They didn't show it. Where?
Come on, you got bags of votes coming in.
You keep referring to these bags, and nobody knows what was in them. Prove it.
Okay, we've had this discussion before. If I have 300,000 votes, all in a bag, okay, and every single one is for the same person, really, you don't find that suspect. Once again, I will tell you, you can't walk up your street without finding somebody that disagrees with your political views. So let's just say your neighborhood is predominantly Biden oriented. You couldn't find one person walking up that street that voted for Trump. You couldn't find one. So you got hundreds of thousands of votes.
But there's no proof. There is no proof of that.
The same exact person. I mean, come on. Let's be realistic.
I want to see the proof.
Let's be realistic. What they need to do, hand you the bag so you can count them your fucking self?
Yeah, why not? As long as they're paying me for it.
I mean, this shit's been going on for 4 fucking years. Listen,
it's been going on a whole lot longer than that.
At this point, it doesn't. But you know what? I'm going to give you a quote from one of your favorite people.
Oh, Rush Limbaugh?
At this point, what does it matter? That's fucking Hillary fucking Clinton. Okay.
At
this point, what does it matter?
People are living back
for almost 4 fucking years. So what are you going to do now?
People are living back.
Donald Trump actually won. It ain't worth your fucking time.
I've heard talking just recently about what went on in the Obama administration, for Christ's sake.
Well,
and in the same words, what does it matter? You're living now. You're not living 18 years ago.
But at the time that the situation happened, it could have been rectified.
Let me throw another iron on the fire.
If there was a problem.
Let me throw another iron on the fire. If he was so great, why did Biden have to come in and clean up after him? As far as the COVID
clean
stuff.
Up what? Wait, you mean ruin the economy?
Cleaning up the economy because of what Trump did as far as bonuses and everything else and spending and everything like that.
Oh,
so he was no saint. You can't tell me he was any saint.
The deficit hasn't gone up.
You can't tell me that he was any saint, because he wasn't, especially at the end of that. He did over. I'll give you He did all right the first 2 years until COVID hit. And then everything went to shit. He was on the goddamn internet every 5 minutes. Oh, I'm getting in. I'm so mad about this. Scream. Who fucking cares? That's the thing I've got against Trump. You want to know what I got against him? Twitter and Twitch, or whatever the hell they want to call it this week. I hated that goddamn thing. Every goddamn time you turn the TV on. Oh, Trump was up at 3 o'clock this morning on Twitter typing, and he did. Oh, that aggravated me.
Yeah,
you want to talk to me,
to
you get your ass on TV and you talk to me.
At least he didn't have to go to bed at 8 o'clock at fucking night so he could walk.
I'll bet he did.
But who
But
cares?
he got up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to raise hell.
He probably did. That's
not the kind of. I want somebody that's going to flip and run this country. I don't want him on Twitter, Twitch, or X, or
okay.
Or
Listen, you're an asshole. You are an asshole.
I am.
We argue all the fucking time. But I tell you what, if you got the answers and you can fix the economy and you can do whatever, I'll follow you. No matter what you post on Facebook, no matter what you post on, because we already know you're an
Twitter
asshole.
and X, I should have
said.
said.
But if you have the answers to fix the country and you are doing well in fixing the country,
but he wasn't
I don't
doing
give a
well.
fuck about what you
he
post on Facebook.
wasn't doing well. It was.
I don't give a shit.
All he was on there to do was bitch and complain.
So, guess what? I do that every day at work. And you know what?
You get on Twitch, on X and talk about it?
Well, no. I don't do none of that shit.
Well, you should.
Work every
next
day.
time you go into work, you want to bitch about something, get on Twitch or get on X. Get on X and bitch about it.
Complaining makes people change their ways and do things a different way. So sometimes it works. I'm just listen. What he posts on social media does not concern me. What he does to and for the country concerns me. That is my focus. I don't care what he has to say about Roseanne Barr. I don't care what he has to say about the
lock her up,
movie star, whatever. I don't give a rat's ass. Oh, that's not presidential. No, that's called his opinion, and he's allowed to have one, just like every
us.
American in the United States. I don't give a shit about that. I care what he does for the country and the things he puts in place to help the country. That's it. I don't fuck Twitter. I don't care. It's pointless. It's pointless. It means nothing.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch the time here. Hang on. Oh hell, we've been arguing for almost 56 minutes.
Oh shit.
Time goes fast when you're having fun, doesn't it? What else did you have on the list there? No, we pretty much destroyed Trump.
Well, no, we were going over the yeah. Basically, the only thing you gave me was the Kamala thing, and then I saw you bringing up the you'll never have to vote again thing. So we can either just go into an off topic.
I'll have to remember that.
Just raise hell about the same shit.
I'll have to remember you watch that stuff.
Well, yeah, I have to look at it.
I'll have to sneak stuff in there.
Yeah, I have to watch. It pops up on the screen when I'm waiting for. Of course, I'm going to see it.
There was another.
But yeah, it's like, okay, Kamala. She never, like I said, she never addresses all the wonderful things she did as a senator and all the wonderful things that she's done as vice president, which ain't
because she's not living in the. Because
she
she's not
goes
living in the
back
past.
and it's funny because her other comments in her thing is, some of us look to the future and some of us look to the past. Well, no shit, because Trump wants to fix the shit you just fucked up. So he's looking to the past. But what does she do in her campaign is she goes so far back into the past. She goes back to when she was a young woman just coming out of law school and doing these other things and uses it to try to say, oh, I know Donald Trump's type. That's all you have to say. Nothing about your work as a senator. I even went on looking for videos. Now she is good at because she was a prosecutor, at asking questions to people like she got dude for Facebook. That's Zuckerberg. I mean, she's asked him some questions where he was like, for a minute. You know, she did pretty good there. And other than that, really didn't do nothing. And as vice president, poof, not a word. As vice president, I did this. As vice president, I did that. As vice president, I did this.
You act like that's some sort of a crime, and it's not. The vice president is supposed to be the number one reason the vice president's there is if there's a bullet. She's the next. She's the next one up. When the heartbeat stops, she's the next one in.
He was the border.
That's the job.
He was supposed to be taking care of the border. I guess
that's not her job.
Obviously, with the president's help, but she was, and I've heard that argued also. But I've also heard montages of every news agency on the air. Our borders are Kamala Harris. Borders are.
I've never heard that.
And then all of a sudden now that she's the quote unquote possible presidential candidate, oh, she was never the border czar. It's the same people that were calling her the border czar. So what the fuck? She fucked up the border. The shit's out of control.
The shit was out of control long. Trump only built 54 miles of 1,500 miles of wall. You expect something like that's going to be built overnight? Do you think for a minute that he's going to build the rest of that 1,500 miles of border wall in the next in the first year that he's in? That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. The more wall
you have, the better off we are.
Well, there's more of it now than there was when Trump was in office. There's more now than
I am more than happy to allow the Mexicans and the Guatemalans and all the other countries involved to enter our country, but
there must be something great here.
Proper rules.
There must be something great here for them to all want to come in like that.
Huh?
And there must be something great here for them to want to come in like that.
Yeah. They've been doing it. Oh yeah. So yeah. When you come in and they give you food cards, put you up 4-star hotels, give you houses, give you businesses. That's kind of like what the Democrats do. You just hand them the American dream while telling Americans they can go fuck themselves, and you got a homeless sitting on the fucking streets. You know, okay, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, there is a, you know, Joe Biden opened the fucking door and said, come on in. They're looking at these individuals coming in, finally getting citizenship, and, of course, voting Democrat. It's all voting.
All right, if the border was so closed up with the Republicans, then explain 9/11. Oh, how quiet it got. I said if the border was so closed up in the past and Biden fucked it up to open it up, explain 9/11.
Well, I could explain 9/11 very easily. You're going back a lot of years.
22.
There wasn't a huge flood of people coming into the country.
The fuck there wasn't.
These people
the hell there wasn't.
Themselves into the country
The hell
with
there wasn't.
visas and whatnot. They all came legally. They all came in with visas. They all came
I
legally
disagree with that.
and got trained
I
and
disagree
whatnot
with
and,
that.
all that
Fake
bullshit.
news.
And horrible things happen. Horrible things happen. And yes, you're only bringing it up because it was under a Republican president's
You
watch.
damn right it was. And that Republican president swore that he was going to have the borders closed. Every flipping Republican that comes in here, we got to close the borders. We got to close the borders. And it's funny because there's 65 miles of border wall built now. It's not like they built
your
it.
president Joe Biden started building more.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it's his choice. He
Guess
finally
what?
realized what was wrong.
He finally, yeah. Must have been because of his border czar. Really?
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, come on. You're talking out your fucking ass.
So are you. That's why this show's so entertaining. Anyway, it's
40B.
What's that?
40B.
Yeah, really. What a show for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to wrap this up. We're at 1 hour and 3 minutes so far. Those of you that follow us, thank you for doing so. If you've got a comment, please address office at crookedriverradio.com if you want to send one to me or Dale, either one. Just put in the email who it's sent, who you'd like to respond to it. Coming up.
Well, how the hell would I respond to it? Because I don't have no Crooked River email or nothing.
Well, you can respond. I'll just let you know what I'll send.
I got to count on him to tell me the good shit. You see how that works,
I'll
people?
forward it to you.
See how it works?
I'll forward
See how
it.
it works?
I can
Democrat
give you
at work.
It would take
I'll let you know.
It would take me 2 minutes
I'll let you know.
If you want to send an
Democrat at
email
work.
to Dale at crookedriverradio.com, which give me until 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'll create it. You can send it to Dale at crookedriverradio.com, and he'll get his email. How's that? You happy now? It'll
Just
take
for
me
Democrat.
2 minutes to.
I'm going to screen it first before I send it to you.
I can't screen that stuff. I don't care about it. I just
Okay.
forward it. It'll come into the mail system and forward it to you.
Okay.
You gotta, this is technology. Technology.
I may have one
It's
fan
really
out
pretty cool stuff.
I may have like
Technology's
one,
pretty
maybe
cool, and
two.
it works really well when it works.
You know? I may have like 2 fans. Who knows? It would be fun. It'd be fun to hear what they have to say.
I keep
or
getting
have
one-
them. Once again, we said, hey, you got his email, and I guess apparently I'm about to get one in the morning. We're always looking for topics that everybody would like to hear us scrap it out about. Toss something in there. Maybe we'll, give it a shot.
Precisely. And we will.
I mean, that's the fun of this. That's the fun of this. Sometimes even we don't know what the hell's going to come out.
There's times that I come into this show, I have
that's
no
the beauty.
idea what's going to happen. It's because I'm old.
That's the beauty. But notice, people, once again, and we talked about this last week, and it was something that Pat brought up. We fight and we disagree, but at the end of the day, we respect each other. So just because you disagree with what somebody has to say or what their beliefs are is absolutely no reason to disrespect them. We all have our right. Now, if they are disrespecting your right to have your opinion, okay, now you can have a little bit of a problem with it. And, if they're stepping on your toes way too bad, kind of like I said, I have to respect a man dressed up as a woman because that's the thing to do right now. But no one has to respect my religious beliefs. Just, you don't have to agree with my religious beliefs. You don't have to agree with them whatsoever. Just allow me to have my opinion, just as I would allow you to have yours.
Precisely.
It's all fair.
I want to end
You
with
know.
a quick bit of Democratic news. I've been following this guy kind of close since Kamala decided to run. They decided she's going to be the candidate. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper withdraws his name from withdraws from Harris running mate contention. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper has withdrawn from consideration to become Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate. The Democrat confirmed on Monday evening. North Carolina governor opted not to be the candidate as Kamala as Harris's running mate. And in her search, 2 people confirmed that today. Sources for the Associated Press said he withdrew from the search in part because of concerns that his Republican lieutenant governor would assume control when he travels out of state if he were selected. Under the state constitution, blah 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 blah. Robinson is an ardent social conservative who once called abortion child sacrifice and has discussed LGBTQ people with words like filth and maggots. All right, that's actually off of the Associated Press wire.
Now, why would he? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm following now. All right.
He wouldn't want his lieutenant governor to become the candidate because of his political, what do you call it? Trying to adjust something.
Affiliation.
Right, his political affiliations with stuff.
That's the PC way.
Yep, that's the only way. Anyway, let's go.
Just kind of like if I was Joe Biden, I wouldn't want to step down and let Kamala run the country. I mean, hell, as brain dead as he is, he's still like, yeah, I don't want her running this shit. But I don't want Donald Trump either. So let me go with the lesser of the 2 evils.
And that's
I'm just going to be
as we've said before,
jacked up for the next 6 months.
That's exactly how this election is going to go. It's going to be the lesser of 2 evils. I've said that for years.
Well, they do say that a lot of times people vote for people or vote against people they don't like as opposed to people that they do like.
I guess
it's that, so, it kind of goes to your lesser of 2 evils kind of thing. I really don't like this individual, so
I don't like this one, but I really don't like this one. That's how that goes.
Well,
I do
because
I don't really like Trump, but I really don't like Harris, so I'm voting for Trump.
You know what?
Just on the vice
down
versa
in the
that.
digs. To be honest with you, I don't like Donald Trump. He's a dick. Okay? He's messed around with some women. He's done this. He's done that. And you're probably loving this or whatever.
I'm going to mark this on the...
What he did for the country was great. His work as president was great. He was there all the time, doing the work, doing the job, and trying to make the lives of the American people better. That's why I like Donald Trump. Not because of the man he is, but because of what he's done. That's why. He got nasty with Roseanne. He got nasty with somebody else or nasty with another person. You know what? That doesn't affect how he performs his job, because you know what? I go to work every day and I do my job. And I am one of the people at my job that others look up to. But I can call you an asshole. I can call you a dickhead. I can talk shit. I can cheat on my wife. I can do all these other things. It doesn't matter. When I get to work, I am still that individual. And that's how I view it. I don't care about his personal persona. Doesn't matter to me.
But let me ask you a hypothetical. I'm not going to argue about this with you, but I just want to know where the hell your head's at, which is sometimes hard for me to figure out, but that we won't go there. As far as you say, you don't like Trump as a person, and you like, okay, take that 2 years, 2.5 years that he was actually doing quite well for the country. At that point, I'll admit I would have even voted for him because I thought the country was doing pretty well. I had money in my pocket and everything like that, and I thought he was doing well with that. But does that chunk of time equate to all the does that equal or overweigh the stuff that you saw on Jim? And I'm not saying he's guilty. I don't want you to get all hyped up over that, but consider that even part of this could be true as far as his trying to overthrow the government or what have you. And I know I've made all kinds of comments about that. I'll be the first to admit that. But does that 2 years or 2.5 years of good outweigh what he did to try to make this, to try to change the society and do away with the public vote? Where do you stand on that? How do you stand on that?
What do you mean? Here's where you're confusing me. Do away with the public vote.
Well, if he would have got his way with Pence, there would that public vote would not have counted, and that therefore you would have overthrown the Constitution.
If we were playing a game of jacks, remember that back from childhood?
Yeah.
Play some jacks. If we were playing a game of jacks,
that game. I hated stepping on
you cheated,
things.
And you cheated, and I called you out on it. Well, we got to figure out whether you cheated or not, right? That was all he did. That was all he did. Hey, I'm not feeling that with all the little things that were going on and all this craziness. I'm questioning this. If you can show me honestly that everything that went on was on the up and up, then okay.
It depends on whose words you want to take.
Never happened. That never happened. So he didn't try to overthrow the frickin' government.
By his actions, he would have. By his actions,
because I'm telling you, there is no way that Joe Biden beat him. I will sit here today in my chair and tell you there is no way that Joe Biden beat him in a fair election. That's just my personal belief, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yep.
I don't feel,
Well, I'm not. I have mixed emotions about the whole thing. I don't know I can't say this.
See, that's the thing. The fact that you have mixed emotions tells me you're questioning it. You're questioning it yourself because you have mixed emotions.
But that doesn't.
So why shouldn't anybody else
forgive? That doesn't forgive him trying to send that group of people in.
No, he did not.
The hell he didn't. He flipping fired them up and then he said he was going to go with them, but the Secret Service wouldn't let him. That's the part that gets me.
First off, he told them to peacefully
protest. Yeah, right. Mm.
And then I watched an interview, because I have been doing my due diligence with the FBI director that will not openly admit that he had operatives in the Capitol at that time, which, many have said there were operatives in there that were helping people and allowing people to do things that they shouldn't have been doing, which doesn't give them the right to do those things. But you're looking at a little coercion to kind of help the problem along. And then you have,
then you have
the video and soundtrack. Well, I think it's just a soundtrack of Pelosi in her car.
Oh, here we go.
Talking about how somebody's got to pay for this because they offered me National Guard troops, and I told them to go to hell. Well, guess what I found in recent weeks? Do you realize that footage was taken by her own daughter?
Huh.
Her own daughter. Her own daughter got that. And, well, I'm assuming she didn't want it leaked, but somehow it got leaked. But the fact of the matter is, it got leaked. And Nancy Pelosi's taking blame for the whole fucking situation.
I want to
hear it. But
yet
he's trying to put fucking Donald Trump in prison for the shit.
I want to hear it.
I mean, come on.
Go to the internet. I want to hear it. I'll look it up for the next time.
Okay.
I want to hear the clip.
Oh, I'd be more than happy to.
All right.
I listened to it a few times.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up for tonight. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching and doing what you do. We did what we needed to do over on this side. Coming up next Saturday morning, we've got the Four Guys on Sports show coming. And being that this is Hall of Fame week, actually, there's going to be a football game Thursday night, and we'll have that to talk about. And some other stuff. Training camp started, and that should be a lot of fun. Then Sunday night, we've got the radioactive show. God knows what we'll get into on that one. Last night's show was utterly bizarre towards the end. That's kind of weird because it's when we do that show at the beginning, it's kind of cold, and then once everybody gets in there and gets comfortable, and by the end of it, you got dissertations that are 20, 30 minutes long, and funny as hell. Dale's talking about his exploits in the world, and not this Dale Miracle.
He's a miracle child.
And
miracle child.
Some of the questions that Flora comes up with are just, you just sit there and just shake your, oh God, she came up with that.
It's like the NIR, what ifs or
She told me that if I
would you
didn't,
rather,
she told me last night if I didn't quit, she was going to beat me senseless, and then Melanie came up and said something to the effect of, "That's what my grandmother would have said to him." So, and I hate to say it, but she would.
Or no, what's that game you played? It's Would You Rather.
Yeah,
like when you were a kid.
Yeah,
you were playing that. So Yeah, Flores quarters are a lot like that, but a little bit different in different ways. But it gives you a choice.
That's kind of fun we have on Sunday night. So, and then next Monday night, we will be doing a nanosecond show. What's going to happen with that? Nanosecond's coming back every other week. He wants to do as far as football season goes. If there's something we need to do, we'll move his show to like the beginning of a football game, or on Sunday afternoon. We'll probably do a half-hour segment on whatever Browns game we watch, whatever. At that point, we'll do just a review of it and stuff. The first Browns game, we will be doing the first after-game review. We're planning on doing something with that. But this coming Monday will be the nanosecond. I don't know what he's got planned for guests or whatever. But that'll be fun too. So that'll take us a week from now. And then we'll be back in 2 weeks arguing about politics and whatever else comes up.
Oh, and playing you Nancy Pelosi, provided I can actually find it now. Because I've noticed, those speeches I told you watch about Kamala Harris? Yeah. Most of them have disappeared. They only show the one now. It's like people have figured that out. So they're like, well, you know how these different companies work. The other ones aren't so easy to find anymore. Well, so hopefully I can find it.
The owners
F her up.
The owners of material like that are allowed to do with.
But I was surprised to find out. Apparently, her daughter was interviewing her for a Netflix special or something, and in the process, the phone rang, and she was taking the phone call and recorded all this stuff. But before they had a chance to edit it, it was leaked. That's the story. I don't know. But, I mean, you could definitely tell it's Nancy Pelosi. So I'll have that for you next week, and then we can get into whatever we're going to tie ass about.
It's AI.
Oh, yeah. Now, yeah, we're not going to run it down that road. If I don't like what they said, it was AI.
Fake news and AI. So AI did that.
Well, the fake news has been around for years now.
Yep.
Anyway,
hope you enjoyed yourself this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Have a blessed week and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy the weather, although it's going to rain a little bit where I'm at. But we will talk to you again. 7-3.
Love you, folks.
Oops.
God bless.